The Buccaneers might be preparing for a future without Chris Godwin, and that's already fueling speculation about the team's next big target. A new mock draft points to a young talent who could step into that role and keep Tampa Bay's offense dangerous. But is the team really ready to move on from one of its top receivers? And that's not all. Beyond a potential offensive shakeup, one of the NFL's biggest rivalries has added another chapter, with Tristan Wirfs revealing behind-the-scenes details. You won't want to miss any of this. Drop a like, and let's get into the video. The Buccaneers might be preparing for a future without Chris Godwin, and a new mock draft suggests exactly that. With the wide receiver approaching free agency and still recovering from the ankle injury that cut his last season short in Week 7, Tampa Bay could be considering a young replacement to keep its offense dangerous. Godwin, a key piece for the Bucs since being drafted in the 3rd round in 2017, has already racked up 7,266 yards and 39 touchdowns over 8 seasons. But now, with his contract nearing its end and free agency opening on March 12th, the team must decide whether to re-sign him, look for an option in free agency, or invest in the draft. According to Daniel Jeremiah of NFL Network, Tampa Bay could take the last route and select Arizona wide receiver Tetairoa McMillan with the 19th overall pick. And it makes sense. McMillan is a big target, 6'5", 212 lbs, with reliable hands and the ability to stretch the field. He absolutely shattered records in college, finishing his career with the Wildcats as their all-time leader in receiving yards, 3,483. In 2024, he posted 84 catches for 1,319 yards and 8 touchdowns, proving he can be a constant threat to opposing defenses. If the Bucs go down this path, McMillan would step in to complement Baker Mayfield and potentially take Godwin's place in the offense. Plus, Mike Evans, despite still playing at a high level, is already 31 and has just one more season left on the 2-year $52 million contract he signed last year. As Jeremiah pointed out, Chris Godwin is set to hit free agency, and Mike Evans can't play forever, can he? The good news for Tampa Bay is that there's still time to evaluate McMillan and other prospects before making a final decision. The NFL Combine, set for February 27 to March 2, will be a great opportunity to get a closer look at the available talent. And with the draft scheduled for April 24-26 in Green Bay, the clock is already ticking for the Bucs to lock in their next big target in the passing game. So Bucs fans, do you think Tampa Bay should invest in the draft to replace Godwin, or is there still hope for a contract extension? Let us know in the comments. But now, speaking of tradition and rivalry, there's a behind-the-scenes story between Mike Evans and Lattimore that you'll definitely want to hear. The Buccaneers season may be over, but the drama between Mike Evans and Lattimore never dies. And the latest to add fuel to the fire was Tampa Bay's All-Pro tackle, Tristan Wirfs, who recently appeared on the Pivot podcast and gave an inside look at the rivalry between the Bucs wide receiver and the former Saints cornerback, now with the Washington Commanders. Wirfs shared that, in his rookie year, the veterans made it clear that his job wasn't just to protect the quarterback, but also to keep an eye on Evans whenever he was near Lattimore. They told me, go get Mike after every play. I was like, all right, I finished my block, now where's Mike? And there they were, face to face, trash talking and running across the field. I was like, oh man, I gotta go get him. Wirfs recalled, the rivalry between Evans and Lattimore was already heated before Wirfs even got to the NFL, but he got to see firsthand how things really go down. One of the most iconic moments came when Evans jumped in to defend Tom Brady during a massive on-field scuffle. The tension between them has always been high because besides being extremely physical players, Lattimore loves to provoke. And Evans, well, he never backs down from a fight, especially when he's defending his quarterback. On the field, their battles have always been evenly matched, with no clear winner in their head-to-head matchups. But this past postseason, Evans made sure to leave his mark, scoring 2 touchdowns against the Commanders, and in turn, against Lattimore. Now that the cornerback is in Washington, these matchups won't be as frequent, but depending on how these teams evolve, a playoff showdown could be on the horizon. And if that happens, we already know the rivalry will keep burning. If the Buccaneers do move on from Godwin, it'll be a massive shift for the offense. but Tetairoa McMillan could be a solid investment. As for Evans and Lattimore, that rivalry is something the NFL truly misses when it's not happening. Even with the corner now in Washington, who doubts these two will cross paths again in the future? Now, if you want to stay updated on everything Bucs and the rest of the NFL, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.